Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com. If this is your first time joining me, kick back, relax, put your feet up. It's very casual around here. We just spend most of the time talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. So if you're into board games, card games, role-playing games, miniatures games, this is the place to be. Every once in a while, we'll talk a little PC gaming like we shall tonight. And pop culture tends to pop up every once in a while. So if you are a constant viewer, a long-time visitor, thank you once again for taking some time out of your busy day to join me. Always appreciate it. I really, really do. And of course, tonight is Thursday, February 25th, 2021. This is live stream number 627. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights, it also lets you know when I upload other videos, such as today's review of Symborum. Yes, it's the starter set. It is Treasure Hunts in Davokar from Free League Publishing. So if you've been curious, you can find out what I thought. Plus, I paged through the books too, so you get a good look at that as well. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that means chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. I will do my best to respond. So we had Gary Clarkson hanging out 12 minutes before the stream even started this evening, trying to get that first comment in after the show started. But he didn't. The madman got it. So, yes. So, once I say, hey, happy whatever, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in chat, whoever's first up, I consider them first out the gate. So it was the madman tonight. So we got the madman, the Motor City Madman. We have the aforementioned Gary Clarkson, the, let's see, we got Flaming Herons in chat. So we've got both of our chat moderators hanging out. A Grade A is here. W Forge is in with us, as well as Jason Herrick. Very cool. Very cool. Got a good chat starting off already. Nice. Very, very nice. So I do have to point out, the kitties are down here with me tonight. So we might hear, I have to fix something real quick. There we go. We might end up hearing Pinky chiming in from time to time. She has been in fine form today because I have spent a lot of time down here in the Duct Tape Studios, and I've had both cats with me. Smokey, she's fine. She's She goes, sacks out in one of her beds down here, and that's it. Maybe she might hop up on my lap for a while. But Pinky boy, I tell you, she just wants to be upstairs in her one particular bed on the couch. And it's like she can't be trusted upstairs by herself. So, I don't know. She hasn't cried out yet. So, I might be making a mountain out of a molehill, but still. All right, anyway. So, yeah, I was running around. And that's why I was about a minute late getting the stream started. Been doing a bunch of stuff, but I was just finishing up a review video I shot. I will talk about that later on. So I got a good collection of news tonight. So first off, let's jump on in to the news because currently up for Kickstarter crowdfunding for Cryptozoic Entertainment is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns board game. Here's a few details. In the solitaire Batman: The Dark Knight Returns board game, you play the world's greatest detective. Wait a second, Sherlock Holmes is in this? Oh, wait, hang on. No, I think it is trademarked that Batman is the world's greatest detective who's been pulled back from retirement into a gritty Gotham. Do everything you can to beat back a relentless tide of ruthless mutants, cops, and press looking to bring you down. Instead of traditional leveling up, this is a game of attrition. An old Batman tries to survive one final gauntlet, facing old and new villains such as Two-Face, Billy Berserk, and the Joker, and even his most powerful ally, the Man of Steel himself. The game is playable as standalone missions or one epic playthrough in which the results of each mission carry over to the next. There is a short Kickstarter video from Cryptozoic. Let's give it a watch.
Get ready to experience an exciting new vision for single-player board gaming. Frank Miller's iconic The Dark Knight Returns comic comes to life in your hands as you take on the role of the Caped Crusader in this challenging and immersive single-player strategy board game. Crafted by acclaimed game designers Morgan Dontonville and Daryl Andrews to be accessible to hardcore and casual gamers alike, your skills and cunning will be tested across 4 missions, each featuring their own unique rules, allies, abilities, and epic boss battles. The missions recreate the comic experience as you play through all 4 books in the limited series. With a variable setup, tons of fight and detective card combinations, and custom Batarang dice, each playthrough will throw unique resources and challenges at you. With sculpts pulled from the visionary art of Frank Miller, you play the world's greatest detective who's been pulled out of retirement into a gritty Gotham. Use whatever tools and vehicles you can to beat back a relentless tide of ruthless mutants, cops, and press looking to bring you down. With help from allies like Robin, Commissioner Gordon, and Green Arrow, you must survive one final gauntlet by facing off against villains like Two-Face, the mutant leader, the Joker, and even your most powerful ally, the Man of Steel himself. Join the campaign now and lock down your Kickstarter exclusives because you are Batman.
Batman: The Dark Knight Returns board game is a solitaire game. It's for ages 14 and up. Plays in around 90 minutes per chapter. There are 4 chapters. This project is nearing its $250,000 funding goal. And you can reserve a copy of the basic game for a $60 pledge, or you can score the deluxe edition for a $99 pledge through March 19th. Expected delivery is this December. I have to admit, I have never played a Cryptozoic game. Way back in the day, when my best friend Elliot Miller was part of the gang, he handled the Cryptozoic reviews. Although he only reviewed a few. So I got to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. For one, $250,000 funding goal on Kickstarter is a pretty big ask. Although, I mean, this just launched and it's almost there, so it's going to get there. But I'm kind of curious how this will play out. So, Philadelphia Piper has joined us. It's been a while since Philly Piper's been hanging out in chat. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. So, a great A's saying Batarang dice. I know, I thought those were they look kind of odd. It's like, okay, so here's a four-sided die, basically, because two of the sides have the little bat wings sticking out. All right, moving right along. This June is going to see the release of Fangs from KOSMOS. Here's what I know. Werewolves versus vampires versus humans. Oh my. Yeah, okay, I threw the oh my in. That's my own. It's not from KOSMOS. What team is a player sitting next to you on? Are they a blood-sucking vampire, a ferocious werewolf, or just some hapless chump trying not to get bitten? And what team do they think you're on? In Fangs, it's werewolves versus vampires versus humans. This thrilling social deduction party game challenges players to determine which one of these three secret roles each other player has assumed. Since you don't know who you can trust when the game begins, you must attempt to conceal your role from other players while working to identify your allies and your enemies. Werewolves are out to expel vampires from the game. Vampires aim to expel werewolves, and the humans are just trying to avoid detection and survive until the end of the game. Throw in some secret weapons and ulterior motives, and this party game for 5 to 8 players makes for a howling good time. Fangs is an amped up werewolf style social deduction game that's playable without a game leader and without an app. Although I believe there is an app you can use, you just don't need it. With lots of information to suss out and analyze, it elevates the social deduction game to the next level. Each player has a specific role with unique goals and win conditions, forcing players to act in ways others might not expect. On a player's turn, they choose between multiple actions, but limiting factions make it so that there are justifications and excuses for any action. The addition of a strong storyline gives this social deduction game the added feeling of a role-playing game. The design of the game board makes the game easy to learn and play, so all your friends and family can get in on the action. Fangs is for 5 to 8 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 60 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $19.99 when it arrives this June. This is actually a new edition of a game that was called Shadow Hunters, which has been released by a few companies. I think Z-Man Games, I think they were the last one to have released this game, but now it's been renamed. It's got much cooler looking artwork, I can tell you that much, than what I saw for previous editions. And looks kind of interesting because, for one, I got to point out, I am not a huge fan of like werewolf social deduction kind of games. They're fine, but I don't necessarily go out of my way to play them. But this is actually going to give players different objectives, different equipment they can use. So it could be kind of cool. Clint Gibson has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Clint. You missed out on the Batman The Dark Knight Returns board game news. You'll have to watch that later on. All right, so today is Thursday, and that means we've got a free PC game over at the Epic Games Store. This week brings us Sunless Sea from Failbetter Games. Here's the skinny. Lose your mind, eat your crew, die. Sunless Sea is a gothic horror RPG with a focus on exploration, exquisite storytelling, and frequent death. Captain a Victorian steamship on a vast underground sea. If the giant crabs, sentient icebergs, and swarms of bats don't get you, madness and cannibalism certainly will. But that old black ocean beckons, and there's loot for the brave souls who dare to sail her. Seek out intriguing individuals for your crew. Hire unique officers like the Haunted Doctor and the Irrepressible Cannoneer. Each has a story to tell, if you can draw it out of them. Stray from the gas lamps of civilization. Light and dark, terror and madness. Spend too long on the wide, dark sea, and your crew will grow fearful and eventually lose their sanity. Carve a life for your captain in a cruel and unique world. A deep, compelling world packed with over 350,000 words of stories and secrets. Find your father's bones. Determine London's destiny. Defy the gods of the deep sea. Your captain will die. Pass on resources from one generation to the next. Acquire a family home and a hoard of heirlooms. Build a legacy of sailors who braved the sea and lost, or occasionally won. There is a short launch video we will take a peek at here. It's a little less than 2 minutes, but if you are not familiar with Sunless Sea, definitely give this a peek. Sunless Sea is absolutely free through 10 a.m. Central Time, March 4th, over at the Epic Game Store. Gotta say, if you have not played Sunless Sea, grab it. Now, I will mention there are some people out there who hate this game, they despise this game. Others love this game. It is not easy. I'll tell you that right up front. It's not an easy game. Your captains will die constantly, but it is a blast, in my opinion. Also have to say, there's a lot of reading involved in this. So if you do not like to sit there and have to read a few paragraphs of text all the time, you might want to steer clear. But this is a great game. They also released it's not included with this, but there is also Submarine, because you're sailors, you're not sailors, so it's with a Z. And rather than the steamship, you have a sub, and of course, it adds more to the game. And then there was a follow-up, Sunless Skies, where you're actually in a like steampunk aircraft traveling around. This has a whole setting called Fallen London, which is actually a browser-based game, which is kind of a role-playing game as well. But like I said, check this out if you have not played it. So Great A said, yeah, this game looks pretty cool. The Madman says, romance your officers? That's not allowed. Well, I guess in this Victorian Navy, it is. Although, got to point out, you're just kind of your own captain. You're not part of any like military, navy, or anything like that. So yes, a great ace pointing out there's a new game called Mask of the Rose that is up on Kickstarter right now for Failbetter Games, and it is a romance game set in fallen London. Like I said, check this out. I have never completed this game. I got to be honest, I have never finished it, but I'm going to load it up this weekend and play a bit just because it showed up for free over at the Epic Game Store. All right, let's move on to some role playing game news because there's a new Delta Green supplement that's arrived from Arc Dream Publishing. Here's the dope on Static Protocol. Have you seen the yellow sign? The King in Yellow. A simple play twists thoughts and perceptions, twists reality itself. Its beautiful, poisonous words awaken realizations that make the audience long for the peace of ignorance. It first touched the stage in the dying light of the 19th century and has arisen again and again to bring to human souls the bitter satisfaction of despair. Delta Green, a conspiracy dedicated to stopping unnatural terrors, enacted the Static Protocol as a ruthless response to the threat of the King in Yellow. That work comes to terrifying fruition in Impossible Landscapes, a massive campaign for Delta Green, the role-playing game. Impossible Landscapes presents agents with dreadful discoveries that spiral in upon themselves like the twist of the yellow sign itself. Delta Green's Static Protocol enhances Impossible Landscapes by collecting even deeper research from its sprawling timeline. Agents can piece together these fragments as they pursue secrets they may regret, secrets of otherworldly power, of murder and memory that lengthen like the shadows cast by sinking suns, of an invitation to a masquerade that never ends and is the end of all things, of the bitter truths of Carcosa, the King in Yellow, and the yellow sign. The 40-page Static Protocol PDF is available at DriveThruRPG for $4.99. You can snag a softcover that includes the PDF for $19.99. Gotta say, I don't believe there's any reason to pick this up if you are not going to run Impossible Landscapes. This doesn't strike me as, I don't think there's any adventures or anything in it. I think it's just more supplemental material to build upon in that campaign. All right, my final news piece, also available in PDF, is the Sentinel Comics role-playing game core rulebook from Greater Than Games. Here's what I know. In the Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game, you and your friends play as comic book heroes, either from the pages of Sentinel Comics or from your own imagination. Join forces against terrible villains and fight in dangerous environments, all in a tabletop role-playing game. They act as if, wow, there's never been a superhero role-play game before. I'm not knocking it. I'm just mentioning the way they're talking about it. Like, oh my gosh, you can be superheroes in a tabletop role-playing game. This includes a high-res and compressed version of the indexed core rulebook, as well as creative heroes, quick reference PDFs, form-fillable hero, villain, and auxiliary character sheets, and a bonus coloring book. Villainy knows no bounds. Nefarious villains from this world and beyond bring forth multitudes of minions, portentous plots, and devious doomsday devices. The entire world is in danger. Who can stand in their way? You can. You're a hero. You and your fellow heroes take up the cause, fight for what's right, and protect those who cannot protect themselves. Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game, brings super-powered action and comic book intrigue to your table. This complete core rulebook contains easy-to-learn rules for playing the game. Hero creation, give your characters powerful abilities and interesting stories. In-depth information and advice on running the game. A variety of systems for creating your own stories and threats. 2 playable adventure issues that can be run right out of the book. Dozens of pages of heroes, villains, minions, lieutenants, and environments from the pages of Sentinel Comics. And more. Be a hero, save the world, create the world of Sentinel Comics. This 458-page PDF is available right now at DriveThruRPG for $29.95. You can score a free starter kit if you go to the Greater Than Games website. Absolutely free. Funny enough, if you look to get the starter set, or starter kit is what they're calling it, if you look for it on DriveThruRPG, it's $9.99. So, that's a little unusual. But if you want to check it out, see what it's like, go grab the starter kit. It's like I said, I think this starter kit's like 50 pages, something like that. All right, that is it for this time out as far as the news goes. Of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG and the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. And there are quite a few people who utilize those links, and I really, really appreciate it. All right. So let's see. So W Forge is asking if anyone remembers the Valiant Comics role-playing game. Yes. In fact, I got my first peek at the announcement when I was covering the Gamma trade show. It was in Vegas. It was, I think, the last year it was in Vegas, or the next to last year it was in Vegas. Back when they didn't just invite everybody to cover the trade show. You had to be asked to cover it. So it was pretty wild. It was the Dice Tower, of course. Although I don't think Tom was there. For one, it's Vegas, right? But Eric was there and a few other people from the Dice Tower. ICV2 was there. And little old me with the Gaming Gang. That was it. Those were the press that were allowed to attend. Those were the only outlets that were allowed to be brought in there. So, yes, I do remember it. A Grade A says they think it was Catalyst Game Labs that did it. That rings a bell. I think that rings a bell. I always like Valiant Comics. I think Valiant is a pretty good lineup. I've actually done some interviews with people from Valiant. If you go way back into the videos here on the channel, actually have actually shot some. I think it was 2. I shot video for 2 of their panels that they've had. So Valiant's pretty cool. Although I got to admit, they had a change in like upper management, and they're not as prolific as they once were. Now, granted, they weren't Marvel or DC or Image with the number of issues they would release on a weekly basis. But now it's gotten to the point, because if you notice, if you visit thegaminggang.com, we share upcoming comics for the next week. My brother does that. And it used to be, we always had, so my deal with that is there's only a few companies that we cover. There's like 10, but they have to be releasing at least 2 comic books for us to do a news piece. Cause it'd be stupid if you're like, oh yeah, this issue of one comic is coming out. Let's put together a news piece for it. And lately, Valiant, some weeks they don't have anything. I mean, let's be honest here. COVID's really done a number on a lot of industries, including the comic book industry. But yes, they're certainly not as prolific as they once were just maybe 2-3 years ago. But pretty good, pretty cool. So Philadelphia Piper asks, have I heard anything about the upcoming Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft? Just the stuff that they've made public. I did have a news piece about it earlier this week when they did announce it. In fact, if you go to thegaminggang.com and you go to that news piece, there's a little more that I was able to get than most other outlets are sharing about it. Now, granted, it's not something exclusive or anything like that. It's just I have a few more details about what's in the book than some of the other outlets might have, because I got my information from a different source. So it wasn't just Wizards of the Coast. So Grade A says stuff is just coming out slowly about it. Yes, that's true. I got to be honest. I'm one of these people. I don't search out info about upcoming role-playing game books, especially Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Because for one, I don't have the time. I really don't. There are a lot of channels out there, and they're great. I know a lot of people dig them, but there are a lot of channels out there that effectively, that's their entire focus is D&D. And that's cool. That's great. I'm not. I got a whole slew. All right? You see them all? That's nothing right behind me. I got tons and tons of stuff so that I cover. Anyway, so yeah, so I am usually not a great source until the book comes out. Because usually the day the book comes out, I have a video that I share what's in the book and page through, show it off. I know some people don't like the fact that I do that, but tens of thousands of people like it. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do that. So Agrede says that Banana Chan has written some stuff for Van Richtens. Ravenloft is pretty new to me. I got to be very honest. Ravenloft is, because once again, I say it a lot. After first edition, I saw a little bit of second edition, and then I didn't really peek at Dungeons and Dragons again until like the tail end of 4E, which I did not care for. And then of course with D&D Next, that we had a big press party at Gen Con for that. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, and 5th edition. So anyway. So that was a pretty quick run through the news, I must say. See what else is cooking in chat. Gary Clarkson says they just picked up Raiders of the Deep from Compass Games and Rifles in the Peninsula from Tiny Battle. Tiny Battle Publishing. Does anybody have experience with these games? I personally do not. I do not cover Compass Games. It's a personal thing. I'm not going to get into it. I've mentioned it a couple of times in the past. Just say I ain't interested in sharing news from them. Tiny Battle is run by my good pal, Mark H. Walker, who also runs Flying Pig Games. In fact, if you missed it, I just did, whoa, hold on a minute, Bob Louie. Once again, I got all this stuff stacked up, and I had some stuff which is stacked like in front of the camera, which is on a small tripod. And everything started sliding towards the tripod. I'm like, whoa, hang on there. Hold on there a minute, Bob Louie. But I did my unboxing for D-Day and Beyond. So that is very recent. In fact, that was the video I did before Symbolim's starter set. But I've reviewed some of the stuff from Tiny Battle as well as Flying Pig Games. So, but I am not familiar with either of those titles. I think, I might be wrong, but I thought Raiders of the Deep is part of the system that was at GMT. I think they called it the Hunters system. So, but I think they moved from GMT over to Compass. I think. I am not positive. So, anyway. So let's talk about the contest because this is the last show that I'll be talking about these contests that are going on. We did hit 4,000 subs on YouTube last I looked. Now, subs come and go. So if I've had like one or two people unsubscribe, it's probably showing back at like 3,990. But earlier today, it was at 4,001. So first giveaway, super easy. It's for Nadavalier, which is from Gree Games and Hachette Games. This, I thought it wasn't hitting stores until April, but I am hearing that some folks are seeing it in their local stores. So it's coming out a little earlier for some people out there. But you can win this copy still in shrink, right? All you got to do is check out my review of Nadavalier right here on YouTube. And I will tell you how to go about having a chance to win. So I've got some contests on Twitter. I've got some contests on YouTube as well. The Twitter contest, you have to like a specific contest tweet that I have shared a few times. Be a follower on Twitter, retweet that contest tweet, and tag a friend. That's what you need to do. For YouTube, a little bit different. The YouTube contest, all you got to do is be a subscriber and comment on any video. Now, the Nadavalier contest, you have to comment. Well, I just gave it away, didn't I? Yeah, there's something you got to do on that Nadavalier video. Anyway, for the YouTube contest, all you got to do is be a subscriber and comment on any video between now and the end of the month, which is Sunday, final day Sunday. So if I hit 7,000 followers on Twitter, I'm going to give away this physical copy of Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment, as well as 3 PDF copies of the rules as well. So 4 opportunities to win. And we are getting pretty close to the 7,000 followers on Twitter. In fact, I think somebody, Man just said Twitter's at 6,824. Twitter is weird as far as I'll get like a bunch of followers and then I'll get a bunch gone. It's like, okay, whatever. We'll crack that 7,000 at some point. Anyway, if I can hit 4,500 subscribers here on YouTube, not much time left to do this one. But if I can, by the end of the month, I'm giving away not this hardcover of Basic Fantasy. No, I'm actually giving away 13 soft covers. So effectively, everything that's available in print from Amazon can be yours or someone else's if I hit 4,500 subscribers by the end of the month. Then I also have some Dungeons and Dragons contests going on. So if I can hit 7,500 Twitter followers, I will give out a standard art cover edition of Dungeons and Dragons Candlekeep Mysteries. If I can hit 5,000 subscribers here on YouTube, I know these aren't going to happen, but I would give away the alternate art cover for Candlekeep Mysteries. So something I should point out is Monday is March 1st. I will have some new contests to roll out as well. Got to be honest, I think what's going to happen is the Candlekeep Mysteries contest for the standard edition is going to become a contest that people will have to enter through the first look video I'll end up shooting. So probably end up doing that. But we do have the Nadavalier contest. We know that's going to happen. And there's an outside shot at the Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So Agrede says, so who was it here? What some messages are getting retracted. So Gary Clarkson says, wait, am I supposed to unsubscribe and subscribe every day? No, that's certainly not what you're going to do. Because for one, think, I think Twitter would flag you or YouTube or whatever would be like, well, what is this guy doing? So Grade A says, wait, are we trying to recruit more people to sub to decrease our percentage chance of winning this contest? No, actually, you're looking to recruit more people so that I will have the contest. You're not decreasing your chance of winning at this point because I'm not giving it away. It's like, it's math. All right. So, yes. And Gary says that they're going to make 1,000 bots and sign them up. Yeah, we've heard that from people before too. So, W Forge is wondering, has the D&D papercraft sets come out yet? If so, are they worth it? I don't think they're out in the U.S. And I got to be honest, I'm not overly familiar with them, so I can't tell you if they'd be worth it or not. So I don't know. Anyway, all right. So one thing I want to float out there, I've mentioned this before. It's been a while. I am kind of kicking the tires on maybe running an OSR styled fantasy role playing game remotely and opening it up to friends of the gaming gang. Maybe do it on a Sunday afternoon. I don't know if it'd be every Sunday, maybe every other Sunday, something like that. Don't know. So something to keep in mind. If you are interested, by all means, let me know in the comment section if you would like to possibly partake. I would think it would probably be about a 4-hour session on Sundays from maybe 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. So something to keep in mind. So there we go. All right. Anyway. So Gary Clarkson says, I can barely use a computer. They're lucky they even know what a bot is. So Gary says, that's a great idea. Brilliant. So, so Flaming Heron's still playing Celesta. Is that still in early access? So I'm kind of curious because I actually, when I interviewed, oh gosh, now I'm going to zone out on his name. Oh, jeez. Oh, I can't believe I'm zoning out. He's working on the Enemy Within campaign for Cubicle 7. He's been doing all that. Gosh, I can't believe I've interviewed him a few times too. Anyway, he, I guess, did some of the writing for Celesta, and I believe it is a French company that's behind it. So, very cool. So it's still in early access. All right. Because I know the Kickstarter, because I think the Kickstarter was going on when the last Gen Con was going on. And actually it was discussed with me and asked if I could share a news piece, which I did. I shared a news piece on the website. All right, that is it for this time out. Once again, by all means, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursdays right here on YouTube, it'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as tomorrow's review of Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep, the slipcase set from Chaosium Inc. That will be up tomorrow morning. So look forward to that. I'll probably have some other stuff pop up over the weekend as well. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Those of you who hung out watching live in chat, thank you very, very much. Always appreciate it. I love the fact that you take time out of your busy day to, kick back with me as I just babble on. But of course, I also really appreciate those of you out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live. Maybe you're even watching on Memorex. Thank you very much for that as well. Awesome. Anyway, I will be back next month. Womp womp. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, Friday morning, whatever day it happens to be that you're watching this video. And of course, as I wrap up all of my videos during this never-ending pandemic, then maybe we're starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and everybody please wear a mask.